Forward number 19, Ben Spencer. Forward number 22, Jordan Hamilton. Toronto FC2 is led by head coach Jason Ben.
Taller in person, you see when we meet. I heard you and I'm kissing my teeth.
A beautiful late summer evening downtown Toronto. We are at BMO Field tonight for Toronto FC2 and New York Red Bulls 2. The defending champs come into town, and Jordan Hamilton, who has been a goal machine for the Young Reds here at BMO Field, is back in the starting 11. His setup man, Tsubasa Endo, in the side as well. And a somewhat familiar face, Jay Chapman, will make an appearance tonight as well. Hello everyone, welcome inside. I'm Matt Antonio, joined by Terry Dunfield, and Toronto will have its hands full here this evening, Terry, as New York comes in unbeaten in their last 5 as they make a playoff push in the Eastern Conference. Tsubasa Endo was out last week with some rest. back in the 11 tonight for Toronto, and the offense really goes through him.
Very much so. His experience was missed last week. He was given a rest after playing 2 of the 3 games in a week. Endo's a real technical player who has excellent delivery. Endo is a great engine. We'll look to open New York Red Bulls up from a central midfield position. His set piece quality is top drawer.
On the other side for New York, Toronto will be keying on Junior Flemings. He's come on strong as well, second on the team in goals.
He really has done. He's a former Jamaican youth international, now a full international, 1 cap for Jamaica. He was earmarked to play in the first team last season until he picked up an injury in September. Pacey attacking player who's comfortable playing anywhere across the front line. Also, he works very hard to get the ball back. And that's very much the philosophy of the New York Red Bulls first team and also the New York Red Bulls second team.
Here's the starting 11 for Toronto. Angelo Cavalluzzo, his 6th straight start. Lars Eckenroe came back last week as a reserve, and he is in the starting 11. Ben Spencer will play alongside Hamilton up front. For the visiting New York Red Bulls, we already mentioned Junior Flemings. He is a focal point of the offense. Vincent Bezecourt as well. And it's Evan Loro between the pipes. Toronto FC2 looking to follow up a solid performance from the first team as they defeated San Jose 4-0 right here earlier today. The Young Reds looking to follow in their footsteps. More when we return to Toronto. TFC2 are 1-1-2 all time here at BMO Field. They look to improve on that record tonight. Head coach Jason Bent will be looking for a strong bounce back performance after the team lost 1-0 last Saturday evening up at the Ontario Soccer Centre. For the New York Red Bulls too, they are led by John Waliniak, and they are in good form, 3-0-2 in their last 5. They defeated Tampa Bay Rowdies 4-2 1 week ago. So they come in to this game on a bit of a hot streak, Terry.
Very much so. The Tampa Bay Rowdies, one of the class acts of all the USL. So to beat them 4-2, come on the back of a good result. Obviously beating them 4-2 is decent. Hopefully TFC2 can use the energy of the first team's performance earlier. They kicked off at 5 p.m., won 4-0 over the San Jose Earthquakes.
We're underway here at BMO Field. Toronto in the all-red kits, moving from right to left. New York, white shirts and socks with the red shorts. They're going from left to right.
So it's always a good test for TFC2 when they match up against other affiliate clubs to really see where they're at. And in New York Red Bulls too, this is one of the best affiliate clubs in all of the USL. They won the whole championship last season.
They are also undefeated all-time against TFC2, 3 wins and a draw. The only meeting between these two teams so far this season was in New York back on July 21st. A 1-0 victory for the hosts, and it was Bezecourt scoring in the 27th minute on that day.
Yeah, the New York Red Bulls, two teams, a very cohesive unit. All New York Red Bulls team, they take on Jesse Marsh's, the first team coach's philosophy of playing a 4-2-3-1 formation that presses extremely high. So TFC2 will have to be ready for that.
That's crossed over, it comes down, and Julian Dunn is there to provide the clearance. Jordan McCreary, as well as they are working against Stefano Bonomo.
We spoke about TFC2 coming off a difficult home defeat to Rochester. If I'm completely honest, the team was outclassed, but one of the top performers on the day was the Canadian Youth International Julian Dunn on the right side of the back three. I thought he was excellent, and he's been very consistent since coming into the side for just a 17-year-old.
Jay Chapman, we saw him in our little open there. He has not played with TFC2 for quite some time this season, the early part of the year. Last time we saw him, hasn't gotten a lot of minutes with the MLS club, was able to get on in the friendly against Jamaica right here for Canada last Saturday. So this is an important night for him to get some match fitness back in.
Really, and for me, I think that's all he is. The first team is absolutely flying. It looks like they're going to win the league comfortably and possibly set a league record. So it's been difficult for him to break into a midfield of Delgado, Michael Bradley, and Vasquez. But I think whenever he's played for the first team, he's been good. And coming down today isn't really a knock on him as a player or his form. It's just about sharpening his game up and getting him important match minutes in case he's needed down the stretch with 6 games to go and also the playoffs. And
we've seen some good performances from those guys with a lot of MLS experience this year. Jordan Hamilton, we've spoken about him. He's just been dynamic. 5 goals in 8 appearances. Endo has 1 goal in 12 appearances, but he has been such a playmaker. We talked about him in the open as well. So yeah, a great opportunity for Chapman here to come and work on some things, get some minutes, and make a significant impact on the team.
Good point, Matt. And not only individually and for their own game it's important, but also collectively for the entire group. Their experience is very important for the younger players. And Jason Bent was almost forced into making 5 changes against Rochester and missed that little bit of experience sort of scattered throughout the pitch. And I think Jordan Hamilton and Jay Chapman in particular, when they've come down to TFC2, they've really taken on a leadership role this season.
Jordan Hamilton has scored the only 3 goals for TFC2 in games at BMO Field all time. And of course, he had that brace back in August when they drew with Charleston 2-2. Late game equalizer on that night. Should also mention no Mitch Tainer again tonight, battling through a bit of an injury. Brian James wearing the captain's armband again. You see James there with the interception, plays it back to Cavalluzzo, pushes it up the pitch. Chapman, nice touch there to win it over to Ryan Telfort. Now Jordan Hamilton. That's chipped in off the head of Telfort. Might have been offside, flag didn't go up. Brandon Aubrey, who's been forced to play that central defense position in the absence of Mitch Tainer. Tainer started the year as the primary right back with Aubrey on the center of that back 3, but the emergence of Julian Dunn on the right side, among others, has allowed Jason Bent to slide Tainer into the middle. But with no Tainer for, I believe this is the 4th game in a row here, Aubrey gets the starting job back. Yeah,
Aubrey started this season off in the middle with Mitch, as you say, Matt, just on the right-hand side, and he's come back into the team, and he's had to be patient for an opportunity. I thought through the summer months, TFC, though the results maybe didn't match their performance, it played well with Tainer, sort of in that center of the back three role, and it's so important in that role where that you communicate, that you organize other players around you. You're extremely vocal, and you get that in Mitch Tainer. And I think as Aubrey's game develops, that's leadership and being a real boss at the back will start to come. And I think he reads the game extremely well. He's got the attributes to succeed, and it possibly just needs a little bit more time to develop.
And we mentioned Lars Eckenrode as well, making his first start since April. He played last Saturday, came on, I believe he got 15, 20 minutes off the bench. And it was his first appearance since that bad injury back on April 1st, Tampa Bay. So I spoke to him after the game. There's a shot over the goal, out for a goal kick. I spoke to him after the game, and you know, he was thrilled to be able to get back on the pitch and have something to show for the long months of rehabilitation.
Yeah, you really are in a dark place when you're coming back from injury, and he just signed for the team, one of the draft picks, and versatile defender, can play anywhere across the back three, and unfortunately picked up a little bit of an innocuous injury, which turned out to be a fracture, and he was worked extremely hard in the gym. One of the first players in the club to come in to work, one of the last to leave, a real professional, and one of his strengths is he's shown a real willingness to get better and improve, and I think in the environment at Toronto FC could really flourish.
Back for Aubrey. Eckenrode. Brian James. Eckenrode trying to play long forward over the head of Ben Spencer.
Just forces it there, Eckenrode. I think that TFC2 spent a lot of time in the video room this week looking at how the New York Red Bulls are going to press extremely high, and the way to play out of it is either through it with intricate passing, around it through the flanks, wide players, Telfer and McCrary, or looking to go in behind, which Eckenrode tried to do there. Just forced it a little bit. Ball in behind wasn't on.
There's Bezecourt. As Florian Vallot. Bezecourt again. Shot takes a deflection. And it's out for a goal kick.
Bezecourt, you can see already, he just hunts the ball, looks to get on it. He'll pull the strings from that number 10 position, just in behind Bonomo. Clever player, looking to pick the ball up in pockets. Also off the ball, works hard to press as well. Really tasty left foot. Plays in that Sasha Klestjan role.
We're at 8 minutes played here at BMO Field. Scoreless between Toronto and New York.
The TFC2 players will really enjoy playing at BMO. This is where they want to be. They want to be playing in the first team here and playing on this wonderful surface, beautiful stadium. They definitely should be up for it, to skip to their step, and playing one of the best young teams in the league as well. What a night for football. No disrespect to where TFC2 normally play their home games, Ontario Soccer Centre, but the playing surface is artificial. The artificial grass is quite long, and it's a little bit sticky, and it's not really conducive to Jason Ben's passing style.
It's Chapman. Plays it through the channel for Telfer. Not able to get there first, however, and it's punted out to touch by Hassan Endam.
Endam, he read the game really well. It looked as though there was a pocket just down the channel there. Good vision from Chapman. Endam comes over and puts out the fire. Bad
giveaway there by Eckenrode, but he's able to sprint back and win the ball back for Toronto. That looked like it took a deflection. The linesman disagrees. It's out for a New York throw.
That's where Aubrey just needs a little bit of composure. Endo just pulled off his marker in midfield, was in a lot of space there. Aubrey's got to connect that pass. TFC2 can't give the ball away needlessly like that. Julian Dunn on the back of a real impressive performance against Rochester in the 1-0 loss last week, Matt. All week trained up with the first team. Matched up against Javinko and Altidore, and from what I saw in training, he did really well. Really held his own.
Should remind folks who are not that familiar with Julian Dunn, he turned 17 6 weeks ago, and to be going up against that quality of player during training is a pretty remarkable experience, I'd have to imagine.
It really is, and he just took everything in his stride, and on the back of a little bit of praise and doing well since stepping up from TFC3 in the academy. It hasn't gone to his head at all, and he just gets on with his work and real athletic defender. Hopefully one day will be a stalwart for the Canadian men's national team. Also, he's had to adapt to a back three system. He's in the academy. It's primarily a back four with either a holder or two holders in front of him, and he's adapted really, really well.
Toronto whistled for the foul there. Gives us an opportunity to introduce our referee this evening, Pierre-Luc Lausière. We've got Peter Pendley manning the line on the near side, Melissa Snedden on the far side, and Yusri Rudolph is the fourth official tonight. Third and final game that Toronto will play at BMO Field this season. They lost 1-0 to Bethlehem back in May, drew 2-2 with the Charleston Battery about a month ago.
Played really well in both the games. I thought against Bethlehem they really controlled the game here at BMO. Got punished for a Mitch Tainer mistake, just gave away a penalty, got caught in behind, and in the draw, Julian Dunn made a slight error, tried to track back and was caught out for pace a little bit, but I don't think TFC2 have been overawed at all playing here at BMO, and it's nice. There's a good little crowd on the in the east stand that have stayed for the second game.
Yeah, I thought that Charleston game, they did play up a man for about half an hour, I think. But I thought overall they were the better team that night.
Very much so. And
against a very good team that was top of the league, top of the Eastern Conference on that night.
Yeah, and I think Jordan Hamilton scored a goal in stoppage time and showed the character of the group as well, from having a 1-0 lead, going down 2-1, and to stick with it, and it was another tremendous finish from Jordan Hamilton off a tough diagonal ball.
Believe that goal was up for goal of the week, and his goal that beat Charleston on the road about a week later is up for goal of the month right now.
Just goal.
Vote on USLsoccer.com.
It's raining goals for Jordan Hamilton. I love
5 and 8 appearances.
And that's all you can do is when you step down and play in the USL for TFC2 is keep going about your business. You're clean with your link-up play, and if you keep scoring goals, you're going to make an impression.
Ben Spencer trying to find Endo, had loads of space and put the pass in behind him. Could not connect. If he puts that on the foot of Endo, that's a great scoring opportunity.
Exactly. I thought he should have picked out Jordan Hamilton.
Here's Endo again. Toronto with some pace moving forward. Endo will slow it down a little bit. Picks out Brian James. Endo, one touch to James. Will go out for McCreary. Has Hamilton in the middle, tried to find him, and it's deflected away. Out for a Toronto throw.
McCreary just needs to get that ball into the box a split second quicker. There was a nice channel in between the defenders and the goalkeeper, Loro, but just by taking that touch, that split second allowed the back four of the New York Red Bulls to just collapse and protect their box.
Endo able to keep it in on that end line. Hamilton with a shot that stopped. Did not look like Endo was going to be able to get that free. Found the foot of Jordan Hamilton, a one-touch strike, and Evan Leroux equal to it. Keeps us level. McCreary trying to run that down. He gets to it. Some space, trying to find Hamilton again. It's deflected away. Comes back to McCreary. There's Dunn. A little bit of a heavy first touch, and he's given it away. And now New York on the counter. They don't have the numbers, though. Dunn in pursuit. Dunn gets a little bit caught out of position there. And running right at Brian James was Vincent Bezecourt.
Big tackle from the captain defensive midfielder. Real ball-playing midfielder, Brian James. He's not known for big tackles like that. Comes over, solid tackle on Bezecourt. Red Bulls look very quick in transition, like the overlap from Bezecourt. Brian James matched his run perfectly.
Endo trying to take a run through the middle there and nearly got to him. Chapman pushes forward off the head of Metzger. Spencer pressing and plays forward. To the near side for Flemings. Flemings taken down there by Telfer. Referee says play on. Here's David Najim. A little back heel attempt there, and that's played out into open space. Ben Spencer realizes he won't be able to run that down. And it's taken by Jordan Scarlett.
Real bright start to the game from both sides, both trying to play the game in the right manner. Little triangles everywhere, third man run. Some of the passing is and intricate play has been excellent.
Spencer, Telfer trying to one-touch Chapman, intercepted by Bezecourt. Noah Powder plays it back for Leroux. Leroux, the main keeper for this Red Bulls 2 squad. This his 16th appearance. Has just one clean sheet, 49 saves in those 15 games. So a little over 3 saves per match.
With the Red Bulls team looking to press extremely high, if TFC2 can play out of it, all of a sudden you really are in an exposed back four, so you can see why Leroux has had to step up and make some important saves for this New York team.
Spencer plays for Telfer, trying to get it back to Spencer, just a little bit out of his reach, but he pressures well and forces New York to send it out for a Toronto throw.
Immaculate playing surface. Very good grounds crew here at BMO Field. Picked up a little bit of dew, the surface since the first team game. It's important that you really connect your passes.
Endo gets a little bit of a tug there from Dan Metzger, and that'll be a free kick for Toronto, taken quickly by Chapman, plays over for Endo. Back to James, looking to link up with Chapman, fails to connect. That's Andrew Tenari. Back for Scarlett.
Good composed play from Scarlett. Could have looked to force it forward there. Nothing was on. Has the composure, just turn back, keep possession, go back to his goalkeeper, Laurel.
Played into the middle. It's scooped up by Endo. Brian James looked to be playing back to Cavalluzzo, pulled a 180, sends it out for Dunn. Trying to find Hamilton.
Yeah, Hamilton was looking to run into the channel. I think it was the correct run. He bent his run perfectly. Dunn was looking to find his feet.
Aubrey collects, plays up a little bit too far for Hamilton. Endo is there, pushes for Spencer. Spencer with an opportunity. Ben Spencer just wide of the goal. Ben Spencer inches away from putting Toronto on the board.
All comes from a nothing ball really from Aubrey. He's just clearing his lines, puts it forward, bypasses 8 players from New York Red Bulls. All of a sudden it's a 3-on-2. Ben Spencer slotted in, tries to go across the goalkeeper. Might have been better just passing it into that near post. Laurel got his angle spot on. Good change of pace from Spencer to break free. Looking extremely fit now, coming back from that knee injury, showing no ill effects of it.
Scored his first goal a couple of weeks ago in that win at Charleston.
You talk about players, Matt, working extremely hard coming back from injury. It's been a nightmare for the young center forwards. Probably took him the best part of 18 months to come back from a knee injury and ended up having a microfracture. So we wish him all the best and success.
There's Endo. Crosses in, Chapman! Punts it over the goal. Fans, stay up to date on all the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XMFC. That's channel 85. Also, don't forget, they'll air the USL Game of the Week, so check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Hopefully we can get a second look at that Jay Chapman chance.
Yeah, Jay Chapman, that shows a player full of confidence. A lot of players there would look to take a touch there and then look to set themselves and strike. Chapman tries to take it on one, tries to take on a difficult half volley technique. Ball bounces just too far ahead of him.
Telfer Brian James. Eckenrode. Spencer. James intercepts. Comes to Spencer. Has Endo and McCrary. Will push it out wide for McCrary. Plays in for Endo. Endo trying to find Chapman and broken up by Endam.
Great ball movement from TFC2, right across the direct game channel. All starts with Ben Spencer. Goes out wide to McCrary. You think McCrary's going to take a touch and whip it in. No, he hits it first time. Great run for Endo, and Endo tries to cut it back to Chapman. Might have been better just wazzing it across the 6-yard box. Jordan Hamilton had taken up a great position.
Eckenrode trying to play in for Spencer. Surrounded by white shirts, and Red Bulls counterattack. Streaking up the right flank there is Florian Vallot. Vallot crosses in, and that's headed wide. That might have been Junior Flemings on the receiving end of it. It was.
Great counterattack from the Red Bulls. I love the run from Vallot. A lot of players would look to get this to feet. No, he's on his bike. You can see, I think it's possibly Ben Spencer trying to stop him. Vallot's away to the races, hangs it up at the back post for Flemings. Flemings has to head that back where it's come from, head it back into the ground to the far post. Just doesn't get enough contact on it. He'd like that one back.
McCrary wins it for Toronto at midfield. Endo, done. Out for McCrary, and it's out for a throw.
McCrary was caught a little bit high. He was marking himself. It just needs to drop back, give Julian Dunn an angle there.
It's David Najam. Across the pitch for Powder. Pushes forward for Flemings. Disrupted by James. McCrary. Spencer.
Flemings really has pace to burn. Another good third-man run from Endo. Too bad Brian James couldn't drop that into the channel there. Endo looks full of running from midfield. Only Jordan Hamilton and all of Toronto FC will beat him in a beep test. And Hamilton 1, Endo number 2. I hate the beep test.
I remember having to do it in grade 9 gym class. Was not a fan of it.
No, I'd always, when it was beep test day, just be rubbing my hammy a little bit. Or
do you remember your high score?
I was around to like a level 14, around there, level 15.
Got me beat.
Running was always okay. It was just as soon as the ball was introduced. Not a good thing. No. For me, I think stuff like the beep test or 12-minute run, a lot of it's mental and just pushing your limits, pushing your body through it. That sort of inner strength, and there's no way of sugarcoating. As soon as you hear beep, 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 oh.
Here's Endo. Done. Prairie. It's felt a quick 23 and a half minutes so far.
Yeah, it's been a real fascinating game. The whole game's played within almost 30 yards north and south in the middle block, with New York pressing extremely high and keeping Hamilton playing a high offside line, pressing high, and both teams look like they're 2-3 passes away from breaking one another down and getting an opportunity. Real high tempo game.
Now, we can't feel it tonight because we're up in the nice fancier broadcast booth, a little bit nicer than what we're accustomed to at Ontario Soccer Center. But
you're comparing this to the treehouse?
The flags, there's a shot from distance and heads wide of the goal. The flags are whipping towards the south end. So Toronto is actually going right into the teeth of the wind right now. Normally we talk about it a bit more because we can feel it up there. Our papers are flying around all over the place, but you know, we're nice and boxed in tonight, so we don't feel it as much. But that might be something that these guys are dealing with down at pitch level.
Yeah, very much so. And I was fortunate enough to play at BMO since it was built, really. And when you play towards the lake, as soon as you sort of get within 30 yards of the goal, you're thinking shoot, let rip, because you get an extra probably 15 to 20% in power. And also that ball really moves in the wind if you can hit one of those knucklers where the ball isn't spinning.
Do you think the addition of the seats on the east side, you know, raising that up a little bit higher the last couple of years, putting the roof, has that changed how the wind kind of channels through it all?
I don't think so. The biggest thing is it's really enclosed the atmosphere when the stadium's full. BMO now is really rocking.
Yeah, I got down here just before the first team game ended, and I was in the parking lot when the San Jose player was sent off with the red card after using the VAR, and could hear the stadium erupt from the parking lot in ovation. Yeah,
Saren, El Salvadorian midfielder, was about 10 minutes late on Marky Delgado. The referee gave a yellow for it. Awful tackle. San Jose were already 4-0 down. No need for it. They went to the video review, and I thought the video review group and the referee got it spot on. Awful tackle. No need for it. And a real tick in the box of video review. That's the first time I've been a part of it.
Okay, we got it.
Heard you and Gareth Wheeler on the radio. Was listening to you guys on my drive down this afternoon.
Sorry,
so it's a double header for you. Yeah, I got to listen to you for an hour longer than normal.
Now we got to hang out again. No,
double header for you today, though.
I love it. Football,
Not just,
and more
You're the
football.
only one who's going to be involved in both games.
Actually, in the old MLS, so let's say old, about 3 years ago, before the USL, and there was a reserve league, and no one liked playing in the reserve league. So after first team games, a lot of the time, away teams would travel with 2 squads, and you play a reserve game, and you feel like a loser boy if you play 10 minutes for the first team, and then all of a sudden you're now playing in the reserve game after the USL, and it's so much better. What a great way for players to develop, and you come up against teams trying to win championships, and fantastic. So much better for North American soccer, and I'm so happy to see the USL in such a good place and just going from strength to strength. That only happened to me once, by the way. I'll never forget, against the Philadelphia Union. Oh.
Should mention it's a bit of a cool night. We're about 15 degrees Celsius tonight, so I guess that puts it about, if my mental math is correct, it's about 62 Fahrenheit. And as I mentioned, wind blowing directly south. So you number the players wearing the long sleeve kits. Jordan Hamilton's got the long sleeve jersey on. For New York, you see Hassan Endam is wearing the long sleeves. Looks like David Najim might have a long sleeve Under Armour shirt on underneath. But Spencer wearing long sleeves as well. But some players like Julian Dunn, who's got the ball now, sticking with the short sleeves.
Couple of tough balls into Ben Spencer. Cavalluzzo's got excellent range of passing and distribution, the goalkeeper. I'd just like to see Ben Spencer, once he's got the defender pinned there, just try to take that down on his chest, hold that ball up. He has a real physical presence, and for a big man, he's got...
There's a strike. Cavalluzzo makes a save, and it's out for a corner. That was Dan Metzger who let it fly.
Great strike from Metzger. He's only got one thought in his head once it comes to him. Touch out of your feet and hit. And he hits it beautifully. Strikes right across it. Cavalluzzo takes no chances. Parries his rebound out for a corner kick. Bonomo was all over any rebounds.
First corner of the night for either side.
Ball's in. We're good.
Officials rule that stayed in play. Looked from up here, it might have gone out, but linesman on the near side was right on that line and in perfect position to make a good reading on it, a good call. This will roll out. No, it's going to stay in. One in by Flemings, I believe. Comes to Valo. Correction, it was not Flemings. It's a little more difficult to see from up here than we're used to, Terry. A little farther away, that was, I believe it was Bezecourt.
Might have been Powder, but Yeah,
I guess you're right.
it's-
66, not 88. Even with my glasses on, I
it's
can't
just
see.
gone. The game just gone just a little bit scrappy. TFC are just struggling right now to clear their lines. Good ball between the lines from Jay Chapman.
And Endo gets tackled down from behind. And that's going to be a yellow card to Dan Metzger and an easy decision for referee Lozier.
And that's exactly how you beat that high press. Good ball around the corner from Chapman, not only executing the pass under pressure, but he'd already checked his shoulder, saw that Endo was on. Endo's got a great acceleration, gets ahead of the captain, Metziger. Easy decision for the referee. Clever from Endo, just gets across. Metziger gets his body in between the ball and the player. And to be fair, it's a professional foul from Metziger. He needs to bring him down, or Endo's all of a sudden at the back four.
McCrary looking for Spencer or Hamilton, comes to Telfer and headed away.
Yeah, not sure whether Telfer's going for goal there. McCrary, I think he overhits that, comes right to the back post to Telfer. Telfer shouldn't be going for goal. He's got two big targets in Jordan Hamilton and Spencer. Just head it back across. You don't even need to be too precise. Just put it back in the mixer there.
Chapman pushes that up for Spencer. A little bit sloppy in his feet, but he's able to run onto it and keep it in play. And now Telfer. Eckenrode knocked down by Bonomo. Toronto will win another free kick.
That's better from Eckenrode earlier in the game. I know he's coming off a long injury layoff. He tried to play a ball into the channel that wasn't quite on, just forced it. This time he realized that the New York Red Bulls 2 team had done well. They shifted over, just tries to play out, and Bonomo working extremely hard to get that ball back, just clips him. Eckenrode draws a foul for his team. Bezecourt, man, he's so comfortable on the ball.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Difficult for him though, with such a good player ahead of him, and in that number 10 role, Sasha Kleshtin for the New York Red Bulls to try and break into the first team.
Just over half hour played here into the 33rd minute. 0-0, Toronto and New York here at BMO Field. Free kick one here for Toronto. That's Ryan Telfer down in some discomfort.
Yeah, Telfer, big, strong, physical winger. Can play as a number 9. There's no chance Najem's going to win that. As doesn't even challenge for the ball.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Endo plays that in. I think that took a deflection off Bezecourt. Dunn not able to get to that. It's cleared down, and Cavalluzzo well out. He's there to keep it.
I spoke to Jason Bent in the week, and Cavalluzzo's earned the start today. And
Hamilton crossed over, and it's in! Jay Chapman on a beautiful feed from Jordan Hamilton, and in the 35th minute, Toronto's on the board.
great ball out of the back. Nice little over. Spencer keeps the ball moving. And what a ball that is from Jordan Hamilton. Right into the path of Jay Chapman. Makes a great run from midfield. And I tell you what, that's a trickier finish than he looks. He's able to take it first time. The weight on the ball is perfect. Beats the out-rushing Loro to the ball and just tucks it away underneath him.
In just his third appearance for TFC2 this season, Jay Chapman has his first goal, and Toronto has a lead.
That's the way you make an impression to Greg Vanny and the coaching staff to the first team. Step out here, you be professional, your attitude spot on, and what a class act, real classy goal from Jay Chapman, and the ball was just as good or even better than the finish from Jordan Hamilton. Just plays it into that channel of uncertainty between the goalkeeper and center half. Just allows Jay Chapman to run onto it, and it was a real technical, clean finish from him. Doesn't even break stride to stick it home. Hopefully that goal gives TFC2 just a little bit of a lift, and they trust in their ability and what they've worked on all week and continue to play out of the back and play out of that press. Next 5 minutes are going to be important.
Bonomo Bezecourt. And Cavalluzzo gets the hands up quickly.
Bezecourt again, middle of the action for the Red Bulls 2 team. This time making a run into the box. Tries to take it first time. Cavalluzzo makes the save he should. His positioning spot on. Bezecourt, definitely the talisman. The player pulling the strings underneath for the Red Bulls 2 team.
There's a strike from distance coming from David Najam, and it's over the goal.
Najam again with another strike from distance. I think TFC2 will be happy with him shooting from there. Najam tries to rip the casing off the ball there. Just put your foot through it. You've got the wind behind you. Try to get that ball to knuckle in on Cavalluzzo. See if it'll shift in the air.
The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com. Follow them on Instagram and Twitter at USL. Congested pocket there, and its last touch, Jay Chapman, and out for a New York throw.
So congested, but if TFC2 can find the right pass there, that little bit of magic, that little bit of intricate play, a 1-2 around the corner, Telfer's in.
It's Metzger. Noah Powder. Broken up by Dunn. Endo trying to find Chapman. Telfer there to intercept. Back Toronto's possession. Chapman plays through looking for Telfer, just a bit out of his reach. New York runs onto it. Florian Vallot. David Najam. Bezecourt disrupted by Eckenrode. Chapman, Endo, had McCrary out to the right, instead played for James. James is able to see McCrary, plays it into open space, and Toronto's pushing forward. McCrary working away from his marking, finds Aubrey.
Great ball movement to play out of trouble there. I love the 1-2 touch stuff.
Telfer not able to win that back for Toronto.
Just shifting that ball with pace across the middle of the park. I love it. This is where it helps too, Matt, playing on a better playing surface. At the Ontario Soccer Center, it's just a little bit slow, and at times the ball gets caught under your feet, or teams are allowed to really get close to you because of that, whereas if you shift this ball on this playing surface, it'll fly across the pitch.
McCrary. Dunn. Hamilton whistled for the foul there. Dunn whistled there. A little tug on the hip. And Jordan McCrary getting lecture from referee Lozier.
Just before that, when Hamilton fouled, might have been Scarlett at the back. I like that movement from him. Just mixing up his run and checking short to go in behind and stretch teams. Yeah, it doesn't come off, but maybe next time now he's created a little bit of space to go and pick the ball up to feet. Defenders hate it too when you run in behind.
Comes down for Spencer, has Telfer making a run. Delivers instead to Hamilton. Hamilton back for Eckenrode. I guess, Terry, I have to update my stat. Jordan Hamilton, no longer the only TFC2 player to score here at BMO Field. Spencer, left foot, sends it well wide.
Yeah, he just forces it there. Great first touch from Ben Spencer. Tough ball into him. It's played with pace. It's bouncing all over the place. I think there he just needs to let the play develop a little bit. Maybe look for a strike partner, Jordan Hamilton. Just snatches at it a little bit.
Cavalluzzo comes out, boots that into the stands.
Important interception from Cavalluzzo. For me so far, I think he's been the player of the year for TFC2. He's made some huge saves, and at times he's been probably overworked. He's been different class this year. Great starting point. He's engaged, comes off his line and puts away the danger. Puts the ball away from danger, sorry.
5 clean sheets in 16 appearances this season.
And really, he came in at the start of the year, Matt. We've discussed this a ton.
That's given away to Valo. Eckenrode hauls him down. It will be a penalty. I think the referee's got this one right. A terrible giveaway gives Florian Valo an excellent opportunity, and Lars Eckenrode had pretty much no choice but to try and bring him down. It would have been an easy opportunity for a goal on Cavalluzzo.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Eckenrode. He's breaking out, so he's not in a spot. He thinks Endo's going to connect the pass. Uncharacteristic from Endo, and Eckenrode, he's just tackling from the wrong side. I don't think he needs to make the tackle. You see Aubrey coming over in the picture. He gets a little bit of ball. He also gets a little bit of Valo. I don't think it's clear cut as we first thought it was, but for me, I think it's a penalty. You've got Aubrey coming around on the cover. He doesn't need to foul him.
Steps up, and he puts it in as Stefano Bonomo equalizes for New York in the 43rd.
Bonomo steps up to take the penalty, full of confidence, just passes it into the bottom corner. Cavalluzzo doesn't get close to it. Definitely comes, for me, against the run of play. I think TFC2 have been excellent so far. Bad time to concede at 42 minutes. Eckenrode, he's come off a long injury, and I know he's trying to help his teammate out, Endo, there, but when you're tackling from the wrong side, you have to be so precise, and definitely there's a little bit of contact. He gave the referee a decision to make, and I think that one could have gone either way, but there's enough contact for the referee to give it.
5th goal of the season for Stefano Bonomo. And you mentioned, Terry, an inopportune time for Toronto to concede so close to halftime, and they were that close to potentially going into the break up 1-0.
Yeah, and probably one of the best performers on the night so far. Endo's passing's been really clean, and every time he's got the ball, he's positive, he's looking to make things happen. When you go square, Matt, you have to be 100%. When you go square with your pass, especially in your own half, the upside's really not worth the downside. You need to be looking to hit players at an angle, and I'll stress it's uncharacteristic. I think I can count on one hand how many mistakes Endo's made this year, and it's really the story of TFC2 season that they've been punished all year for the smallest of mistakes. And when you compound mistakes with a tackle like that, that's normally means trouble.
It's the 2nd penalty spot goal allowed by Toronto at BMO this season. The only marker in the 1-0 loss to Bethlehem back in May.
Be a test of the player's character now. Can they shake it off, step up, and continue to play?
There's another opportunity. Eckenrode. Is he being called again?
Yeah.
And it's a yellow card to Eckenrode, and it'll be a 2nd penalty to New York in the last 3 minutes.
I think Bezecourt does really well initially to just wriggle free from a couple of tackles. It's definitely a fully committed tackle from Eckenrode. At first look, I don't think it's a penalty. I think he slides in and gets enough of the ball, but it's a real aggressive challenge. Bezecourt, who just skips past one player, and Eckenrode goes to the ground here. You'll see Actually, at second look, I'll be completely honest, he misses it with his right foot, and the follow through, he clatters Bezecourt.
You're absolutely right, Terry. From that first angle, it looked like he had gotten the ball, but that second one, the low angle that was pretty much right on line with it, it looks like he doesn't get the ball at all, and it's an excellent call from the referee.
He sort of goes over top of it with his right foot, and then gets a little bit of ball with the left foot, but once his right foot goes over top of the ball, he gets a good chunk of Bezecourt. Bezecourt probably been the best player for the Red Bulls too so far this half. Here, we'll take another look at it here. Great trickery here from Bezecourt. Sorry, we'll go to the penalty now.
And he's got another. It's Bonomo, his second penalty kick goal in 3 minutes.
I've been there before myself as a player. It turns into a little bit of a mind game when you take a second penalty in a game. Bonomo steps up, and as a goalkeeper, you're thinking, yeah, he's probably going to go the other way. He won't stick it back to where he did, and Bonomo slots it away, passes it into Cavalluzzo's left-hand side of the goal.
Pretty much identical. Cavalluzzo guessed right both times, but not able to get a piece of it.
At the last minute, he just opens his hips up.
And this
tough to read it. His run up that he's going to slot it into that bottom corner.
This game absolutely turned on its head in the last 5 minutes. Toronto was up 1-0, and 2 penalties conceded by Lars Eckenrode, both converted by Stefano Bonomo, and New York's got a 2-1 lead at the break, Terry.
Yeah, incredible how the game's changed so quickly. For 42 minutes, TFC2 had been on the front foot. Their passing's been great. Great goal from Hamilton to pick out Chapman, and you think TFC2 are going to go into half 1-0 up. A couple of Lars Eckenrode penalties. I think when he looks back on the video, I don't think he'll have a ton of complaints. But now it's a big halftime team talk from Jason Bent to pick the team up and get them ready for the second half.
An action-packed first half. Nothing going on in the first half hour, but the final 15 saw 3 goals, 2 penalty kicks, and all kinds of action. Terry and I will break it all down when we return. 2-1 New York at the half in Toronto. All kinds of action at BMO Field in the closing 5 minutes of the opening half, and New York Red Bulls 2 have a 2-1 lead over Toronto here at halftime. Welcome back inside. Matt Antonio here with Terry Dunfield. And Terry, a real incredible opening half, at least the final 5 minutes or so. Toronto looked to be in a great position and potentially go into the half up a goal, and now they're down after 45.
Yeah, I thought TFC grew into the game really nicely. I thought it took a little bit of time to play out of that high press from New York Red Bulls too, but once I got to grips with that, some of the football was scintillating. Some of the 1- and 2-touch play through midfield, up into Jordan Hamilton and Ben Spencer was excellent. Also some of the play across the pitch, getting the ball out wide to McCrary, who looks excellent. He's in a little bit of space out wide, and some of his delivery's been so good. In the middle of the park, Jay Chapman's been different class. You can see his quality on the ball, so good. And what a great deep run for midfield to score that first goal.
Let's take a look at the highlights from that opening half, and boy, were there enough of them to fill up one highlight pack after 45 minutes. Some good chances for New York to start off, and this one's sent over the goal. And then from there, Toronto with some good opportunities. Endo setting up Hamilton and forcing a good save.
Yeah, great strike from Jordan Hamilton. You think Endo's going to go over there. He keeps it in play. Hamilton, a player really full of confidence. Ben Spencer uses his pace here, Matt, to get away. Just can't find the target. The goalkeeper, Leroux, gets his angle spot on.
Another opportunity for New York. This one, Dan Metzger with a good, powerful strike. Forces a save from Cavaluso.
Yeah, for me, I thought that was an excellent save. Any rebound into the middle. There was New York Red Bull players all over that. Parries it out for a corner kick. Here we see the goal. Comes out wide to Jordan Hamilton. It's a delightful ball right into the path of Jay Chapman. And you know what? That's a very good finish. Doesn't break stride. Tucks it underneath the goalkeeper.
Excellent finish indeed for Chapman's first of the season. Giveaway from Tsubasa Endo really starts things off.
Yeah, Lars is tackling from the wrong side. Goal all comes from the high press of the Red Bulls. Turn the ball over in a good area, and Bonomo makes no mistake from the spot.
And then a nearly identical situation as Eckenrode once again.
Yeah,
pulls down the player,
Eckenrode,
gets
it's
a yellow card
real
for this.
aggressive tackle. I don't think you need to go to ground there. Stay on your feet, make it difficult. In the middle, in that number 10 position, Bezecourt, he's been excellent, and Bonomo strokes it away in that same spot.
So 2 goals from Stefano Bonomo have the Red Bulls up 2-1. What's Jason Bent saying in that locker room after, as I mentioned, so close to being up a goal at the half, and now they've got to work from behind?
It's a real tough team talk. He's going to have to get the boys' chins up off the floor and just tell them to believe in what they've been doing for 42 minutes. The goals, I don't think they'll be too worried about. Look, Eckenrode, he's been out for a long time with injuries, come back, a couple of missed time tackles, but continue to play your football. If you play out of this press, you will get opportunities. And up front in Jordan Hamilton, you do have a player who's really hot in front of goal.
For New York, they've got the 2 goals, but none of them really came from development of the play that they had pushing forward. 2 spot kick goals. How did they approach the second half?
For me, I think it can't just be all guns to the wall and press. At times, just look, you're 2-1 up, you're away from home. Just pick your moments when to go and press. Don't leave your back four just too exposed. And on the ball, try to keep getting the ball to Bezecourt. He looks so good in that number 10 role.
New York unbeaten in their last 5, looking to improve that run of good play as they look to move up the Eastern Conference standings. And as we mentioned, unbeaten all time against Toronto. 2 streaks they would like to continue, and they are up 2-1 at the half. More when we return to Toronto.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
Why do you not get me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing.
I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels, coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
We do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
What's been unusual is that we gelled from the beginning, and since then it's carried on throughout the season. It carried on through preseason, and then now we're continuing. Now we're getting towards the end of the season.
Yeah, when the group got together down in preseason and we were training with the first team, we were kind of just looking around like, yeah, we got a good squad, you know. Like when we get back and it's just the Monarchs, we have a team that could do something really special. And so having that time together in preseason and pushing ourselves against RSL and against the first team guys was a great experience and opportunity, and kind of gave us some bonding heading into our season, and we knew we had a special group.
You can't just look at it as a slice, right? Because the investment is the club as a whole in building integration at every level. If you're going to think that way, you have to build the facilities, you have to invest in the team, you have to do everything that you need to do to make sure that at every level you're driving success, and I think that's what we've done.
I think there's a standard throughout the whole organisation now, from top to bottom. I think with the new facility, that's only going to increase the level, only going to increase the standard and the quality of everything within the club.
Purpose-built for USL. It'll be a fun game experience. It'll be a nice place for them to have a home field, and it'll be right at the training facility, which will be great.
This is the next step, obviously, with the academy being there. The Monarchs will be there. The first team will be training there.
But this is unlike anything else in the USL, and I think it's going to be a big game changer for us.
And so now to have our own place that's not going to be as big, but it's going to be just as full, it's going to be incredible for the team.
But for the Monarchs, it'll be great because we're getting on average 3,000 fans or so, and I think it'll be even more next year as the Monarchs continue to improve and kind of set the standard in the USL.
The players' goals have evolved as the season has, and their expectations have got greater. And I think they now understand that until we have a USL Championship, they haven't aspired or they haven't reached the goal that we ultimately want.
Back at BMO Field, players starting to file onto the pitch ahead of the start of the second half. 2-1 for the Red Bulls. A pair of penalty kicks converted by Stefano Bonomo in the final 3 minutes of the first half have given the Red Bulls that lead. Let's take a look at the stats from the first half. A half in which Toronto felt like they did dominate outside of those 2 goals from New York.
Yeah, you look at the shots and you might not think it 5-11, but a lot of the shots for the New York Red Bulls were from distance, and I think Cavalluzzo's been comfortable with all the saves he's made in net.
And of course, 2 of those shots, penalty kicks as well. So, and yes, Cavalluzzo has, I think, looked confident, and he guessed right on both of the penalties, and it was just outside of his reach both times. We mentioned just before we came back on air here, it looks like Brandon Onconi will be subbing on for Toronto. He's pulling the game kit on, possibly in for Eckenrode. They both play that left back position. Possibly just Jason Benton giving Lars a breather after a rough stretch there to end the half.
Yeah, I think maybe it might have been planned before the game, hopefully for Eckenrode's case, in that he's been out for 3 or 4 months, and it's difficult to go straight from playing 20 minutes to 90 minutes. So maybe he was penciled in to just play the 45 minutes.
Earlier today, we mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, the first team was here taking on the San Jose Earthquakes, and what a performance it was as they continue to push for the Supporters' Shield. A 4-0 victory. Josie Altidore with a pair of goals. Jonathan Osorio converting as well. And just an all-out dominant performance by the Reds.
Yeah, Jonathan Osorio, it's great to see him score. He came on at halftime, on the back of scoring for Canada as well. He was excellent. In the middle of the park, Vasquez, exceptional. Up top, Josie Altidore, a beast, got his 2 goals. Really bullied the San Jose back 4. And just, you know who I was impressed with? Beitashour. Coming back, had that lacerated pancreas. Makes his first start with Hassler coming back from international duty, and it's like he never left the pitch. Bombed up and down the pitch, couple of assists. Very, very good all-round performance from the team. That makes it 5 wins in a row, on for a new record in the MLS points total, and it looks like the Shield should be TFC's.
Really been a remarkable season for them. Really building off that performance from last season, that incredible playoff run, and obviously the disappointment of losing the MLS Cup right here on penalties. But they have really used that as a sort of a rallying point to propel them forward this season, and they are certainly on track to be able to host that game right here again in December.
Yeah, if they're able to get there. There's still a lot of football in between, but yeah, they've used that as motivation, and there's a lot of experience in the squad. And what I love about the team so much is how professional they are, and nothing phases them. And the team haven't gotten too high and gushed over their performances so far. It's all about business, that next game, and it's such an exciting team to watch play. Some of the football going forward is so good, and there's so many weapons in the team. It's no longer just a Javinko show.
The substitution was made official. It is Onconi coming in for Eckenrode. And right away, Brandon Aubrey got tangled up with
Bonomo.
I believe that's Bonomo, and it's going to be a free kick to New York in a pretty favorable position.
Luzier just takes a second to blow his whistle. I think he gets it right in the end. Aubrey uses his body just to block off Bonomo.
And also good to see that Florian Vallot, who was on the receiving end of that aggressive challenge from Lars Eckenrode that led to the second penalty, he's no worse for wear, and he is still in.
We're going to get another look at it here. Aubrey just cuts off the run of Bonomo. Easy one for the referee. It just took a second to make his mind up. I don't mind that by referees as long as you get the decision right.
Vallot will stand over the ball here on this free kick.
Got a little bit of a Javinko stance there.
Yeah. And a great free kick. Cavalluzzo not taking any chances. That one was probably going wide, but he dives to his right and sends it out for a corner.
A little bit of a Hollywood save there from Cavalluzzo. under the bright lights of BMO. I think he makes the free kick look a little bit better than what it was. And like you said, Matt, he doesn't take any chances. Might have just been hitting the outside of the post. Great technique from Velo to put it over top of the wall and get it back down.
Referee Lozier whistles this play dead. So he wasn't done setting things up inside the area. Now he's given Andrew Tenari the all clear. Bezecourt is there as well. And it's going to be Bezecourt who sends it in this time and headed forward, and will be out for a goal kick.
Yeah, good challenge between Flemings and young Julian Dunn. Dunn does just enough to put Flemings off. Again, Julian Dunn quietly having another very good game on the right side of the back three. Since TFC2 have moved to a semi-zonal system on set pieces, I think they've looked very good. Hopefully I don't give them the commentator's curse there.
And that was an issue for them earlier in the season. They had some games where they really could not defend well on those set pieces. I, for the life of me, can't remember the opponent right now, but they had the 6-1 defeat. Might have been Charlotte.
It was away from home.
It was away, and I think it was 3 goals at least that were
Charleston Battery.
That were directly from the free kicks.
6-1 to Charleston Battery.
Yeah. They had just some trouble with it in their 3-1 loss in Tampa Bay as well.
And one of the things, Matt, is it's difficult for Jason Bent. There is a lot of movement amongst the squads with the first team in TFC3.
Spencer finds Hamilton. He's not able to deliver.
Good to see the front pair link up. Nice ball from Spencer. He just lashes it across the box and just a little bit behind Hamilton. Just then, Jay Chapman unlucky with his step, but good to see the front two connecting. Just going back to the set pieces, it's tough for Jason Bent because there's a lot of movement within the club and the team's always changing. And I think the best way to go about it is to play a zonal system like they are now.
There's Flemings, crosses in.
Oh, great ball from Flemings. Just cuts in onto his right foot. Sort of cut you off there, Matt. Flemings cuts in onto his right foot, in swinging ball, and Bonomo just needs to gamble.
Here's the Jordan Hamilton chance from a moment ago.
Yeah, on Coney, just come on the pitch. Great awareness and back heel from Jay Chapman. Good ball around the corner. Ben Spencer pulls off into the channel. Great left-footed volley cross, and Hamilton just can't quite get enough wood on it.
Yeah, it was sort of to his left foot, which was his back foot. If he could have, if it was just a touch farther forward and he could have stuck out that right foot, he might have been able to punch it in just like Chapman did in the first half. But given the way that first half went, if I were a betting man, which I'm not.
Well, don't get me started. I lost my house on New England Patriots. My mate Wheelers, they'll never lose.
I was going to say I would not bet on this game finishing 2-1.
No, I think.
I also wouldn't listen to Wheeler on football picks either.
He was talking the talk, and he was calling them the Pats, and it sounded like he knew them. Oh, idiot. Producer's just been in my ear. Kyle, awesome guy, very good producer. Kyle Hall, and he just said you need to speak to Matt for NFL picks. But
yeah, a couple of years ago I helped Kyle for his ESPN, the Pick'ems pool.
Right.
And he's just informed me that I'll be helping him out again this year.
He's informed you. I like that.
The point I was making before we went off down this NFL tangent. Sidebar, so excited for week 1 tomorrow for me to just sit on the couch for 11 straight hours and watch football.
I thought you were going to come to my academy on the 15
not
game.
A chance, not
what?
a chance. I was making the point that I don't think this game's going to end 2-1. I think TFC's got another goal in them. And I don't think we've seen the best from New York yet in tonight's match yet either.
Yeah, both teams. I don't see New York Red Bulls 2 as a team that are going to sit back and protect their lead. And you'll definitely see TFC 2 pushing for another one.
Endo delivers the free kick.
Great ball from Endo. Ben Spencer gets a good touch. Telfer has to just go, maybe it was Telfer or Hamilton at the back post, just carry your run, take a chance.
So we're going to see a substitution here as Aaron Basiljevich will come in for Bezecourt. Terry, I put down the young club. Big game tomorrow. Tell us about it.
Just before I get into the big academy fixture tomorrow, Bezecourt, I wonder if he picked up a knock when he went over for the second penalty. He was excellent on the night. Very technical footballer. Good awareness around him of space and players. Yeah, big academy game. Any TFC fans watching, your support would be huge. We play West Ottawa probably for the championship tomorrow in Oshawa. Everything's on the OPDL website. Any support would be much appreciated. Real talented young team. Kickoff's 3:45.
That's a little better. You told me 1 o'clock, which is prime football watching time. Here's Endo. Plays for McCreary up the right side. He has some space. Delivers for Hamilton. Oh, and he sends it just over. A great delivery in from McCreary. A better touch from Hamilton this time, and he just misses.
This is TFC2 at their best. Great ball movement right across the pitch. Endo puts it right in the path of McCreary. Doesn't need to take a touch. Whips it in first time. And Hamilton times his run this time to perfection on the half volley on his weaker right foot. He just tries to steer it into that top corner. Misses by inches. Great run to the near post from Hamilton. All year I've been saying it. Things happen when players make runs to the near post. Just a little bit unlucky.
They've had a lot of joy going down that right side in the first half. Now a good touch from Spencer is going to force Endam to head back and make a play.
Yeah, the left back Powder, he loves to get forward. Sometimes he just leaves a gap.
Spencer in for Hamilton. Not able to get around Leroux.
Leroux was just quick off his line there. It looked as though it was going to fall to Hamilton.
There's Flemings. Flemings crossing in for Bonomo. He's on 2 goals. There's Tanari. Bonomo. And it's going to be a foul to New York as they were pleading for a foul on Toronto and a free kick.
I love that from Cavalluzzo. Gets the ball down, spots it, and gets TFC2 on their way. Starting to create a nice tempo. Both teams are looking to get that ball back into play.
Curry plays in for Endo.
Where's the P2 card?
Endam was there in defense.
Yeah, and he just lost his bearings a little bit.
Okay, I'll
There's no need to put that out for a throw, and either could have laid it back to Leroux or even allowed Leroux to come out and pick it up.
Endo a little, all right, that's Telfer rather. Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 9 Eastern on Sirius XM FC Channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week, so check USLsoccer.com for dates and times.
Good defending. That's better from Endam.
Chapman gets it back. Hamilton. It's blocked and out for a corner.
Scarlett comes over. I thought Jordan Hamilton was just setting Scarlett up to drop his shoulder and go past him on the left-hand side. He's got that trick in the locker, but I was just going to dip his shoulder in the end. Tries to take on the shot. Good block from Scarlett.
Endo delivers. Chapman. Header was never close.
Endam lost Chapman there. Chapman just got half a yard on him. Tried to do too much with the header. There was enough power. It was whipped in with a ton of pace from Endo. All you have to do is just guide that back towards the goal. Good start to the half. First 11.5 minutes for TFC2. It's important, though, the back three of Aubrey, Onconi, and Julian Dunn are on their front foot and switched on even when TFC2 are in possession, because we've seen the Red Bulls 2 team are so quick on the counter and in transition. Sometimes when you're in possession, that's when you're at your most vulnerable, especially against a team that's so quick and pacey. Fleming's down this left-hand side. He's one of the quickest players I've seen in the league so far.
Dan Metzger getting a stern lecture from referee Lozier there as he delayed delivering the ball to Toronto after that foul. And I believe, if I could read from up here, he said that's your first warning. You do it again, it'll be a booking.
I think he's been booked already, so he's sent off.
He has been booked already. So he's probably telling him, look, I don't want to send you off for something like that, so be smart. Onconi plays that well, steps up, intercepts, but it's right back to New York. Looking to find Bonomo. That takes a deflection, lands right to Flemings. Metzger. Played in, and that is deflected out for a goal kick.
I like the fullback.
I think that was Najim on the far side, 37.
Yeah, Najim, I like him. Good player. Reminds me of Connor Lade a little bit. Fullback that plays New York Red Bulls first team. Loves to get forward. Diminutive player. Tons of skill, technique. Comfortable in possession.
That's Powder. Played in the middle for Tenari. Aubrey pulls this down for Toronto. Sends it out onto the wing for McCrary. He's gonna have to run it down to keep it in. He does. Excellent move to get around the corner. Now tries to cross in, and it's a poor delivery.
Yeah, he should have cut it back. Jake Chapman was in acres just on the D. Hamilton, Spencer, and Endo all make good runs into the box. The cutback was on to Jay Chapman at the edge, trailing midfielder.
There's Bonomo attacking Aubrey. Bonomo's into the area. His cross is met by Ryan Telfer. The clearing attempt from Brian James is deflected and will be out for a Toronto throw. A little bit sloppy on the back end for Toronto.
Bonomo, he's very comfortable on the ball. He almost glides with it, as quick with the ball as he is without it. Deceptively quick. Aubrey does quite well there. He's beat him for pace, but just shows him onto his left foot, keeps him as wide as possible.
Chapman wins that forward. He's got options. He has Spencer to his left and Hamilton to his right. He keeps it for now. Sends to Hamilton on his right. Hamilton will stop it. Hamilton trying to work back in towards the middle. Dispossessed, and New York will take over.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Jay Chapman just continue to drive with it. Wait till one of the center halves come out and commit themselves. Good tackle there from Julian Dunn. But just wait for that slip pass until one, possibly Scarlett, steps out, and then look to slip Hamilton. And if they don't come out, go on and have a shot. Obviously, you can see that Red Bulls 2 team have done the research on Hamilton, that they know he's all left foot, and he's always was looking to get back onto his left foot there.
Referee waves play on as Flemings was down looking for a call. Hamilton not able to get there first. New York stays in possession. Metzger. Powder. Flemings send it across on the far side. Bonomo and Aubrey come together, and it's Bonomo who's going to be whistled this time. Cavalluzzo once again playing things quickly. Endo got it caught up in his feet, wasn't able to keep the pressure moving forward, and now they've given it away again.
Yeah, I don't think Endo was expecting it. He definitely has the technique to take that on the turn. I think Onconi gets away with one there. Looked like that was a foul on Valo.
Lozier, for the most part, letting them play.
As a player, you don't mind that as long as he's consistent, though. That's the biggest thing. You need a referee to be consistent. And I think the referee so far, Lozier, is having a very good game. Difficult, not easy to get those spot kicks right.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have, obviously, the luxury of replays that we have and what our viewers are watching, but I think he gets both those decisions right. And when Eckenrode goes back and looks at it, I'm sure he's already looked at it. I don't think he can have a lot of complaints, Matt.
Yeah. Considering, you know, that we were, you know, I want to say fooled on the second one, the first look, we thought that it was a good challenge, and then the second look that we got, it was pretty clear that he didn't get any of the ball. And for him to get that, like you said, we've got the benefit of replay, slow-mo, and for him to get that real-time one look is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and these are game-changing decisions, and that's why VR now is one of the things they do look at are penalty decisions, and I think he gets them spot on. And then, to be fair, both the penalties were struck away very assertively by Bonomo. And it's tough too, the second one, when Bezecourt goes down and physio comes on, and there's a little bit of time in between taking the penalty and to when you actually take it. Sometimes you can overthink it a little bit. Last thing you want to do is change your mind.
His brace so far this evening has given him 6 goals on the season. And I believe Julian Dunn's going into the book here. Yellow card to Dunn in the 64th minute.
Okay, once you grab a player's jersey, a lot of the time that results in a booking. Be tricky for Julian Dunn. Now when you're playing against a speedster like Fleming's, still have best part of half an hour now to defend on a yellow card.
Yellow card issued in 64th minute to TFC2, number 52, Julian Dunn.
Vasiljevic, it's headed, and it's over.
Yeah, it was good defending from Scarlett in the end. Great ball whipped in by the substitute. Here we take another look at the 2 penalties and the Eckenrode tackles. He's tackling from the wrong side here. Aubrey's coming over. You see he just steps on the right leg of the New York Red Bull attacker, and here we see the second one. He goes to ground. Bezecourt does really well to wriggle out of trouble. Just stay on your feet. He tries to take everything, and the only thing he doesn't take is the ball, except for with his trailing leg.
Bonomo trying to play in for Flemings. This comes to Noah Powder. Metzger. Headed away by Telfer. Left-footed strike is over the goal. That coming from Andrew Tanari.
Game's just lost its way a little bit for TFC too. They need to, Brian James in the middle of the park, Chapman and Endo need to get back on that ball, start passing it again. Front 2, Hamilton and Spencer just need to get hold of it. Hold that ball up. Start to get a grip of the game again. Saw in the corner there, Camargo and Aiden Daniels. A couple of dynamic midfielders.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit nikesoccer.com. Spencer trying to deliver through to Chapman. Doesn't connect. Here's Vasiljevic. Played through for Bonomo. Cavalluzzo comes out and makes a save.
Great save from Cavalluzzo. Love the run from Bonomo to get him behind. Cavalluzzo's off his line, makes himself big. Wonderful stop. That all comes from Ben Spencer not holding the ball up. Great little slip pass as well. The weight on the pass was perfect, so Bonomo doesn't even need to take a touch. Just swivels and hits it, but Cavalluzzo's off his line, makes himself massive.
David Najim. Flemings. Dispossessed on Coney, pushes forward. Broken up by Chapman. Chapman plays through looking for Endo. Can't connect. Tenardi for Flemings. Flemings with some space. And a great play by Brandon Aubrey.
Yeah, I don't think that's going into the back of the net.
But it's heading right to Bonomo. We could have had a tap in.
Exactly. Aubrey just covers Cavalluzzo at the back post there. Important interception. Onconi got dragged inside. He steps out of the back three. All of a sudden, Flemings is in. Onconi's got to keep his shape.
Another opportunity in Bonomo. Lunges forward and not able to connect on it. Cavalluzzo.
Good awareness from Cavalluzzo. Spots 2v2. Tries to go forward.
Hamilton trying to draw the foul there. Lozier waves it off. Onconi, James, Endo.
That's better. Bit of possession through the middle of the park.
McCreary. Spencer, Hamilton.
Penalty.
And Lozier waves it off, tells Hamilton to get up.
Wow, how does he not give that?
Here's Endo. Telfer. Fans don't like it either. Telfer will push forward. Telfer boots it over.
Telfer's got to go across the goal. Ben Spencer's got an absolute tap, and I do not know how the referee gives a penalty. And when you see the players' reactions, they're all over it. Tenori, Hamilton gets in front of him. You can see the contact. Watch his left shoulder. No intention to play the ball, only to impede Jordan Hamilton's progress after giving 2 penalties. I'm in total shock that the referee doesn't give a penalty there. And the last thing I want to do is sound like a homer on this broadcast, but that is a stonewaller penalty. Great play all across to get the ball into McCrary. Good ball fed into Ben Spencer. Good play, interplay between the two of them. And
Fleming's trying to tap it over.
Yeah, tried the little cheeky dink over top of him. Back three's been caught square a couple of times. Aubrey needs to be talking to his center halves and sorting it out. He can't just let it keep happening and happening and happening. Eventually the Red Bulls 2 team will score. Needs to do something about it. This is where you talk about leadership and organization that Mitch Tainer maybe has, who's out with an injury that Aubrey needs to encompass into his game. But still, going back to that penalty, if we can get another look at it, that's a game-changing moment as well, and it comes on the back of some wonderful football. It's not a mistake from the Red Bulls. It's TFC carving them open.
Aubrey for Onconi. Telfer. Spencer was in behind momentarily, but played away by Scarlett. James plays forward. Telfer not able to get there first. Endo will try and win it for Toronto. He does over for McCrary. McCrary well marked. Comes together with, might be Valo. Let's get one more look at Terry's request of the non-call.
Yeah, I love the link-up play here. Look at the movement, arc run from Hamilton. He's getting to that, and you can see the contact.
So you're saying when he goes in and sort of grabs Hamilton on the right shoulder?
Yeah, it's a penalty, 100%. The coming together of them and the fact that Hamilton's ahead of him and he's going to beat him to the ball, that contact's enough for a penalty. And the referee, if you look at the referee spot on that as well, he's got a perfect angle. Also, if he can't see it, the linesman on the right-hand side here, he's parallel to it as well. He's got eyes. He can lift his flag up in the air and call it. Jason Bent's done extremely well to keep his composure and
At least from what we can see.
Not go bananas at the fourth official.
We don't know what he said. Although Jordan Hamilton went at the referee very vehemently, I would say.
Good word.
When the ball went out, and following that exchange.
And a big part of whether you've made a mistake as a referee or not is you can gauge it from the player's reaction. And Jordan Hamilton's the most cool, collected guy I've probably ever met in 30 years of being in football. But when he reacts like that, the referee must be thinking, maybe I just got that one wrong. And that's where VR would come in, and has done in the MLS, and I'm sure it'll come into other leagues soon. And you can look at it again, and you can get that decision right.
There has been a select few games in the USL this year that have used it, including we had one of the school day games earlier in the summer up at Ontario Soccer Center.
Yeah, I think it was against Orlando B possibly, or Richmond Kickers.
Yeah, it was one of those two. Dunn does well to delay the progress of Valo, and Valo trying to link up with Powder, sent it out down inside the final 20 minutes. And despite no goals, we've still seen some good action here in the second half. Tenari plays forward looking for Flemings, taken instead by Onconi. Links with Spencer. Has Telfer there, otherwise surrounded, and well, play back for Onconi. Endo, Chapman. Endo. Hamilton trying to stay on side. Endo! What a strike, and forces a great save from Laureau.
That's that dipping shot from distance in the wind that I was talking about. That ball's moving all over the place. All starts with some good play from Chapman. Endo picks it up. Look at that ball. It's shifting from side to side. And what a save from Laureau to tip that away from his goal frame. Great strike from Subasu Endo.
That was one marked for the back of the goal. He wins the corner. Comes down. Onconi was closest for Toronto and is cleared for a throw.
Great awareness from Jay Chapman in the middle of the park. He almost looks like he's going to backheel it, but checks his shoulders. He's a player his awareness is excellent. He takes a touch forward, picks out Endo, and that ball's knuckling all over the shop.
Hamilton, Prairie, Chapman, in for Hamilton. Hamilton, Endo, back to Hamilton. Telfer. Telfer trying to pick out Spencer, not able to connect.
Great ball from Telfer. Eventually he'll come out wide to him. Takes a touch on his right foot, in swinging ball, and I think it's either Scarlett or Ndam. It uses their body really well to just ease Ben Spencer out of the way. Not used to seeing Telford just check back to his right foot. Normally looks to really drive at defenders and get to the byline on his left foot. Great ball with his right foot.
There's Valo trying to play in for Bonomo.
Made some important stops, but some of his kicking's been poor tonight.
See a substitution. Fleming's coming out, and Douglas Martinez will be coming on. Spencer does well to keep that in. And does well to win the throw in Toronto's favor. Endo, Chapman in there. Chapman dispossessed. Falls back for Aubrey. Excellent challenge there from Monconi, but he's left exposed, and here's an opportunity, and Cavalluzzo slides to his right. That was Basulievich who had the opportunity. It was a great first challenge from Monconi, but he delivered it right to the Red Bulls player who was able to feed it to the man Monconi would have been marking.
Yeah, when you step up, and it was a good tackle from him, but again, he's out of his slot. Great through ball, and it's kind of in between a shot and a cross. He doesn't really strike it, and I think he's looking for possibly Bonomo in the middle. Cavalluzzo in the goal does really well to just stand up and hold his ground and not really commit, and I think the New York Red Bulls striker was just in two minds a little bit, just overthought it. Both teams, though, I was going to say just before that opportunity, Matt, very positive with their passing. We've seen very few negative side passes or back passes. Both teams really looking to be positive and break one another down with each attack.
McCrary, not enough pace on that to find Endo. It was played in behind him as well.
And I think that's what's made for a real exciting game. We've seen lots of turnovers, but both teams really going for it.
The longer we go here without Toronto getting an equalizer, I think that increases the chance we might see Sean Hundle in the final 5-10 minutes or so. He came on as a sub late the game here against Charleston when Hamilton ended up scoring the equalizer. And then he came on late the game against St. Louis and scored the equalizer after having only been on for 5 minutes. So good things tend to happen when Sean Hundle is subbed on late.
Yeah, a player I really like, huge upside to him. He's got so many tools, so many facets to his game. He's big, he's strong, he's athletic. Already just 16, 17 years old. He's played a ton of football in the USL. He's able to run in behind, and he's becoming more clinical in front of net now. Good with both feet, good in the air. And he's starting to grow into his body now.
That's played out for a goal kick. I know we don't get to see Hamilton and Spencer with the club here every game, but let's pretend for a moment that they're mainstays in the side, and they're kind of the Javinko Altidore roles. Is Sean Hundle sort of the Tosin Ricketts guy who can be used as a late sub, provide that boost of energy, and has that goal-scoring capability?
A little bit. I think he'd like a bigger role than that, and last season we saw him play a ton of football.
Still just 17 though, remember?
Very much so, and I think he's able to start games, and there'll be times where he has to be patient, and Jason Bent will have had spoken to Greg Vanny and the first team coaching staff, and he'll have been told more or less that Hamilton, Spencer, Endo, Chapman need to play a certain amount of minutes, and for a young player it can be difficult to be patient and wait for that opportunity. But all that Sean Hundle can do is come out, make an impression like Chapman's doing today, and just make it difficult as possible for Jason Bent to drop him. And not only should Hundle's goal to break into TFC2, he wants to be out there playing for Toronto FC, and I think that's what one or two players think they've made it by playing for TFC2, and really the goal has to be to kick on and be playing here at BMO, not in front of 1,000 fans, playing in front of 30,000 fans, playing alongside Javinko and alongside Altidore, and really pushing themselves.
Inside final 10 minutes here.
Because if you're competing for a spot in the match day squad for the first team, that means that you're then going to be playing regular football here. And I don't want to get too far ahead of him, but he really does have a a promising career ahead of him.
Yeah, I didn't want to limit the ceiling of what Hundle can be. I was more so speaking as the team is sort of set up right now. I think he can be that type of role.
I think so, and I think he'd be very good at that role. And we've seen that in recent weeks. Came on, and as you said, Matt, in a matter of minutes, scored the equalizer against St. Louis.
This is out for a Toronto corner. It will be Endo as usual, and a lot of bodies pushed forward. Endo delivers, and it's out for another corner.
Important header from the substitute Martinez at the near post, defending Julian Dunn. Martinez would love that opportunity at the other end just before, maybe 5 minutes ago. Great ball whipped in, got in between the two center halves, just couldn't quite connect with it. Camargo's waiting to come on here. Very rarely will you see coaches make a substitute on set pieces.
Referee gives the all clear. It's headed by Hamilton. Well wide.
Yeah, tough header, just on a standing jump. He's not really running onto it and attacking it, just on his back foot a little bit.
And it's Endo who's coming out.
Substitution for TFC 2 at 84th minute, coming into the match, number 20.
Yeah, like-for-like substitute. I think Endo worked hard. The back of his mind, it'll be that mistake that led to the penalty, but Camargo comes in, struggled with injuries a little bit this year. Diminutive, dynamic midfielder. Got an eye for a final pass, works really hard. His energy's a real lift for the team. Tidy footballer. It was kind of cool when I was playing for the first team. He was coming through the academy, and it looked like he'd left TFC and decided to go. He went down the university route, went and played for Syracuse. And since I've hung up my boots a year ago, it's kind of cool coming back to the training ground and seeing him and seeing how much he's developed going away. So sometimes that university route is a good one, and
ball given away.
Hopefully he can stay healthy.
Left-footed strike from Velo was blocked. There's a header off the bar. Rebound for Velo is stopped by Cavalluzzo. That was Martinez who had the opportunity to put New York up 3-1.
He just missed a similar header. This time he gets everything right. Probably even a tougher header. Great header back across Cavalluzzo. As Cavalluzzo beat an all end, comes off the bar, and I think might have been Bonobo on the rebound. Just can't get any power on it. He's got a standing jump. Great header from the substitute Martinez. That probably would have sealed the game.
There's Chapman. Has McCrary there. McCrary didn't make the diagonal run early enough.
Yeah, I thought
it's given away.
I thought Powder there got his defending, really got his angle spot on. End-to-end game though, isn't it, Matt?
Yep. It's well defended by Dunn. Dunn will race forward. Wins it for Toronto. Taken down there, wins the free kick. Inside 5 minutes now, plus whatever is added on.
Here we're gonna see the header. Great header from Martinez. Just guides it back across Cavalluzzo. He's beat, and Cavalluzzo, yeah, was it Velo on the rebound? So. Yeah, with his left hand just claws it out of the air. Still think there's a couple of chances. Only last 5 minutes with TFC2 this season. There's always, do not leave early.
Yep, do not turn it off early. Oh, New York's gonna have a free kick from a good spot here. Chapman is whistled. Tanari and Busulevich. Busulevich will take it, and it runs on to Cavalluzzo. Three and a half to go. Spencer. Out left to Telfer. Telfer in for Camargo. And it's played back to Lauro.
Tough ball to take. His back's to goal. He tries to take it and just roll the defender, Camargo. Once your back's to goal there, it's such a tough technique. I think really he needs to look to lay that ball back and just hold it up. Look for one of the trailing midfielders, set them up for a shot from distance. Don't think it was on to take it and turn in one motion.
Chapman pulls it down, sends it out for Telfer. Telfer, that shot takes a deflection and easily handled by Lauro.
Just sort of dribbled into the double team there. Would have loved to have seen Telfer really attack Najem, go past him with his power and pace, get to that byline and look to cut a ball back or whip it in. Once he gets ahead of steam, he's so difficult to stop, Telfer. Najem did a good job of just guiding him inside to the bodies. And then the big center half, Najem, came over and finished the attack off, or stopped the attack, sorry.
Here's Camargo. James. Dunn. Out for a New York throw. Dunn defends that well. It's Martinez who comes up with it. And the Toronto free kick. Cavalluzzo wants to start this up quickly. McCreary looks like he's in some discomfort, and Martinez is down as well.
Yeah, I can see Wallinek, he's speaking to the Red Bulls 2 coach, the fourth official here. I thought if anything it'd go the other way. He gives it because the right arm of Martinez comes across McCreary, but I think McCreary's doing the same to him. I would have just let the play go on. When both players are going at it like that, just he's kept his whistle in his pocket for most of the night. Just let them play.
Cavalluzzo pleading the case of having him, I guess, removed from the pitch and play on.
You can see Brian James
saying either get up or get off.
Yeah, he's trying to roll him off.
He's right there.
You just got to be careful that it's nothing too serious, but I can feel Brian James and Cavalluzzo's frustration.
I think they're also just kind of saying, hey, let's make sure that this gets included into the added time. We've reached the 90 minutes. We haven't had the signal yet from the fourth official of how much time will be added. Looks like New York's going to make a substitution instead of just waiting for Martinez to be ready.
And it's a bit of game management from the young Red Bulls team. And look, it's a huge, if they can get over the line, it would be a massive 3 points for them, sitting in 7th place right now going into the game, a point above the playoff line, a place above the playoff line.
3 minutes of added time. And it looks like Martinez is going to be good enough to continue. David Abador was ready to come on if needed. Telfer, he's able to get through and win it, and powers forward, and it's knocked away by Endam. We're going to see a yellow card here to New York.
I think
it was Endam.
No, I think it was Najem. Picks up number 37. Ref just calling it back. Tried to play an advantage. Endam's snuffed out the danger, so the referee's called it back to a free kick.
everyone pushed forward for Toronto. Brian James is out to the right. Camargo will take the free kick. 7 red shirts inside the penalty area for Toronto. Camargo delivers. Comes down just out of the reach of Telfer, and it's pushed back for Camargo again, who's able to slide it over to Brian James. James will have a go, and it's out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think Jason Bent might have been thinking, I wish Endo was out on the pitch. Not the best set piece from Camargo. He's got to miss that near post man. He had all the big fellas lined up at the back post, ready to attack it. Just give them an opportunity, something to go. And really try to get your head on.
Headed forward by McCreary. Yep, that's a good call there. Handball off Camargo. And the odds of Toronto pulling out the late equalizer again are diminishing.
Yeah, unfortunately in extra time since the Martinez foul, the game's just petering out a little bit too start-stop. Never say never though with this TFC2 team.
It's out off done. New York will throw. Gives them an opportunity to kill a little bit more clock. It's Powder. And there it is. That's the full-time whistle. New York comes into Toronto and continues their unbeaten streak overall and against Toronto FC2. Just their second victory away from home this season and their first since June 3rd, snapping a 6-game winless streak as visitors. And for Toronto, a little bit of disappointment in the result after giving up those 2 quick penalty spot goals.
I thought it was a great performance from TFC2. Every single player out there gave everything, and some real important match minutes for first team squad players, Hamilton, Spencer, Endo, Chapman. I thought the turning point in the game was the non-penalty call from the referee. I thought it should have been a penalty. At about the 75-minute mark on Hamilton, Tenari just caught him with his shoulder or his arm. There's enough contact for a penalty. If TFC are able to convert the hypothetical penalty at that point, it goes 2-2. And from then on, the game, the last sort of 15 minutes and the end petered out. You can see Jordan Hamilton speaking to the referee about it now. And I'm sure when the referee analyzes it and re-looks at it, not only did he get it wrong, but also the linesman who had a perfect view of it.
You can see Ben Spencer not looking pleased. Jason Bent not pleased either. And certainly a little bit of controversy to finish this game here in Toronto. And Jason Bent will be disappointed once again with the result. Terry and I will be back to wrap things up right after this. On a beautiful night in Toronto, unfortunately not a beautiful scoreline for the hosts as TFC2 defeated by New York Red Bulls 2. It's a final of score of 2-1 here at BMO Field. Back inside one more time, Matt Antonio with Terry Dunfield. And we saw, as we were going to break there, Jason Benton, Jordan Hamilton, Ben Spencer trying to get an answer out of the referee about that non-penalty call midway through the second half. Terry, how would you assess this performance overall, outside of the two sort of black eyes of the penalties that were converted? Not a terrible performance by Toronto tonight.
I thought they moved the ball really well, and I think they enjoyed playing at BMO on this very good playing surface. Players got important match minutes. Jordan Hamilton up top, Ben Spencer, Endo in midfield, and I thought Jay Chapman was excellent. Just a little bit unfortunate that the big decisions didn't go their way. I think it was a stonewaller. It should have been a penalty, and when you see players circle a referee like that at the end of the game, coaches, maybe the referee needs to possibly made a mistake. I think the linesman as well had a good look of it, didn't put his flag up, and it'll be frustrating because the team on the whole played very well. I thought Cavalluzzo in net, again, made some crucial stops, no chance on either penalty. But having said all that, I thought the referee did get it right, and both the New York Red Bulls 2 penalties were penalties and mistimed tackles from Eckenrode.
Unfortunately, nothing Toronto can do about it at this point. Let's take a look at the full-time stats for tonight's match. So we saw 22-15 the shots, 10-5 shots on goal for New York. So they were peppering Cavalluzzo, 14 from inside the box. We don't have the possession numbers there, but I would guess it was relatively equal. And Toronto, unfortunately, the numbers on the top line are the ones that matters the most. And it's 2 goals to New York, 1 goal to Toronto. And unfortunately, no points for the hosts tonight. And they'll be a little bit disappointed in the result, but a good effort nonetheless. For Terry Dunfield and our entire production crew, thank you so much for joining us. Have an excellent Saturday night. Good night from Toronto.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.